Look at your palms. Do you see the faint curve of a crescent moon? Perhaps the subtle letter M? Many whisper of blessings, of divine favor. But what if the whispers only tell half the story? If you've ever felt pain that no doctor could explain, if you've carried emotional wounds that never truly healed, this message is for you. Because not all pain is random. Some of it is sacred. If you bear the weight of unspoken suffering in your body, in your soul, what you're feeling might not be a curse, it could be a calling. This isn't just another video. If you've ever felt the weight of this unseen selection, the subtle yet persistent pressure of a higher purpose, then you're not alone. There are shadows that accompany this light, challenges that test even the most resilient souls. Stay with me until the end, because I'm about to unveil the 5 real pains that come with being spiritually chosen. Understanding these isn't about dwelling on hardship, a deeper peace within your unique journey. You deserve to know the full truth, and perhaps find solace in knowing you're not the only one navigating these intricate currents. If your inner compass aligns with this message, let the resonance manifest as 888 in the comments. To actively support the flourishing of this sacred endeavor, consider becoming a channel member. Your contribution, no more than the price of a coffee, acts as a vital current, allowing this transformative energy to flow outward and touch countless souls. Together, we are crafting an eternal impact. Let's start with one of the most visceral, undeniable signs of your spiritual awakening: the spine pain. If you've been marked by the crescent moon and carry the enigmatic M etched into your palms, chances are you've experienced this piercing discomfort that seems to radiate from deep within. This isn't just a random ache or something remedied by a chiropractor or yoga session. It's far more profound than that. Your lower back and spine aren't merely structural supports for your body. They're conduits for ancestral energy, repositories of ancient wisdom, and channels through which divine forces flow. When the weight of generational trauma begins to rise through your spine, it manifests as Kundalini energy, a potent force coiled at the base of your spine like a sleeping serpent waiting to awaken. For those chosen by it, and when it stirs, oh how it stirs, you might feel heat coursing through your vertebrae, an inexplicable stiffness that no amount of stretching can alleviate, or even a crushing pressure that feels like the universe itself is sitting on your shoulders. This physical pain is symbolic. Your spine carries not only your physical form, but also the energetic imprints of every ancestor who came before you. Each vertebra holds fragments of their stories, their unhealed wounds, their unresolved burdens. As someone spiritually chosen, you are tasked with processing and transmuting these energies so that future generations may walk lighter. It's a sacred responsibility, yes, but it doesn't come without cost. The pressure builds because you're essentially becoming a bridge between past and present, human and divine. And let's talk about what happens when this energy rises too quickly or becomes overwhelming. Kundalini rising is often romanticized in spiritual circles, but make no mistake, it's not always graceful or serene. When this primal force moves up your spine, it can feel like an electrical storm raging inside you. Some describe it as fire licking their bones. Others liken it to being stretched across an invisible rack. These sensations aren't just physical, they're metaphysical. They signal that your spirit is undergoing rapid evolution, shedding old layers to accommodate higher frequencies of consciousness. But evolution never comes without friction, does it? So insidious is its dual nature. On the surface, it masquerades as ordinary musculoskeletal issues you blame: poor posture, long hours at the desk, or maybe even age creeping up on you. But beneath that veneer lies a deeper truth. Your spine is literally holding space for transformation. Every twinge, every pang, every moment of searing discomfort is a reminder that you're carrying something greater than yourself. And while society teaches us to suppress pain, to medicate it away, I urge you to listen instead. What is your body trying to tell you? Is it asking you to slow down? To release what no longer serves you? Or perhaps to confront unresolved familial patterns buried deep within your lineage? Now, here's where things get tricky and where many spiritually awakened individuals falter. Without proper guidance, this pain can spiral out of control. Ignoring it won't make it disappear. Suppressing it will only cause it to manifest elsewhere: fatigue, anxiety, or even autoimmune disorders. So what do you do? How do you navigate this labyrinth of suffering without losing yourself in the process? First, acknowledge that this pain is valid. It's real. It's part of your journey. Denying it only amplifies the struggle. Next, consider integrating practices that honor both your physical and energetic bodies. Gentle spinal twists, cat-cow stretches, and grounding exercises can help ease the tension in your muscles while simultaneously creating space for energy to flow freely. Meditation focused on visualizing golden light moving up your spine can also be transformative. Imagine each vertebra illuminated, each knot unraveled, as you allow the Kundalini energy to rise gently rather than forcefully. Another powerful tool is journaling. Write about the emotions tied to your pain. Are you angry, sad, overwhelmed? Putting pen to paper helps externalize what's trapped inside, giving voice to the side. Additionally, working with crystals like black tourmaline or hematite can provide stability during times of intense energetic upheaval. Place them along your spine during meditation or sleep to absorb excess vibrations and anchor you firmly in the present moment. But perhaps the most crucial piece of advice I can offer is this: don't go it alone. Seek support from healers, mentors, or communities who understand what it means to carry this burden. There's immense power in shared experience, and connecting with others who resonate with your struggles can remind you that you're not broken, you're evolving. Together, you can explore modalities like Reiki, acupuncture, or somatic therapy to address the root causes of your pain holistically. Moreover, the spine pain of spiritual awakening isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's the crucible in which your strength is forged. The threshold over which you must step to embrace your truth. It's temporary. Like labor pains heralding the birth of something extraordinary, this discomfort is paving the way for profound growth. Trust the process. Trust yourself. And above all, trust that the universe has entrusted you with this challenge because it knows you're capable of rising to meet it. The loneliness of higher calling, when the world can't hear your song. There's a peculiar kind of ache that comes with being spiritually chosen, an emotional isolation so profound it feels like you're broadcasting on a frequency no one else can tune into. If you carry the crescent moon and the letter M etched into your palms, chances are you felt this loneliness in its rawest form. It's not just about feeling different, it's about knowing deep down that you are different. And while society often praises uniqueness, living it is another story entirely. From an early age, you likely noticed how out of sync you were with the world around you. You had dreams that felt more waking life, intuitions so sharp they bordered on prophecy, and emotions so intense they overwhelmed you. While others laughed at sitcoms or played video games, you found yourself staring at the stars, wondering why you didn't belong. Over time, friendships began to falter because you couldn't relate to surface-level conversations. Family members grew distant because they couldn't understand, or worse, dismissed your inner world. This isn't rejection, it's separation. Let me say that again for those who need to hear it. You are not being rejected, you are being separated. The road of a spiritually chosen individual is inherently solitary, because the path you walk requires solitude to hone your gifts. Think of it as climbing a mountain while everyone else stays in the valley below. From their perspective, you're disappearing into the clouds. But from yours, you're ascending towards something greater, even if it means leaving loved ones behind temporary punishment. It's preparation. It forces you to develop strength, resilience, and self-reliance qualities essential for fulfilling your higher purpose. This loneliness strips away distractions, forcing you to confront the depths of your own soul. Without external validation, you learn to trust yourself, your intuition, and your connection to the divine. In essence, isolation becomes both teacher and test, shaping you into someone capable of holding space for others when the time comes. But let's not sugarcoat it. This phase is brutal. Human beings are wired for connection, and the absence of meaningful relationships cuts deep. There will be nights when you cry yourself to sleep, questioning whether this path is worth the cost. Days when you scroll through social media, watching friends celebrate milestones, and wonder if you'll ever experience that kind of joy. Moments when you feel invisible, untethered, and utterly alone. These feelings are valid, but they're also temporary. Part of the initiation process, preparing you for the role only you can play in the grand tapestry of existence. One of the hardest truths to accept is that most people simply aren't ready to meet you where you are. Imagine trying to explain quantum physics to someone who barely understands basic math. It's not that they're incapable, but their frame of reference hasn't expanded enough yet. Similarly, your heightened sensitivity and awareness place you on a completely different wavelength. Conversations that once brought comfort now feel shallow, even suffocating. Shared experiences lack depth, leaving you craving something more substantive. This dissonance creates a chasm between you and the rest of the world, further fueling your sense of alienation. In fact, here's the paradox. Inside you, the one whispering truths too sacred for words, that's your eternal guide. That quiet hum beneath your skin, that's the universe affirming your presence. And those moments of stillness, when the noise of the outside world fades away, that's where you find solace. Connection doesn't always look like hand-holding or heart-to-heart talks. Sometimes, it's the silent communion between your spirit and the cosmos. To navigate this stage of isolation, you must first release the belief that something is wrong with you. Repeat after me. I am not broken. I am evolving. This mindset shift is critical because it reframes your experience from victimhood to empowerment. Instead of viewing loneliness as a curse, see it as a catalyst for growth. Use this time to deepen your relationship with yourself. Explore practices that nourish your soul. Meditation, journaling, creative expression, or spending time in nature. These activities help you stay grounded while expanding your capacity to light. Another powerful tool is embracing vulnerability. Yes, it's scary to open up when you've been hurt before, but authentic connection begins with honesty. Share your truth with those who resonate with your energy, even if it's just one person. Seek out communities online or offline where spiritual seekers gather. Attend workshops, retreats, or ceremonies designed for awakening souls. You'd be surprised how many others share your journey, even if they express it differently. Remember, community isn't about quantity, it's about quality. A single meaningful connection can sustain you through the darkest nights. And then there's the importance of surrender. So often, We resist isolation because we equate it with failure. We think, if only I could fit in, everything would be okay. But what if fitting in wasn't the goal? What if the goal was to stand firmly in your truth, even if it meant standing alone? Approval and trusting that the universe has your back. Trust that every step you take, no matter how lonely, is leading you closer to your destiny. As painful as it may seem right now, isolation serves a divine purpose. It carves out space for your light to shine brighter, unobscured by the shadows of doubt or conformity. It teaches you to rely on your inner compass rather than seeking direction from others. It prepares you to become a beacon for those who will eventually seek your guidance. After all, how can you lead others through darkness if you haven't walked through it yourself? Stay with me, for the next layer of understanding awaits, and it will illuminate yet another facet of your extraordinary calling. The weight of spiritual responsibility. When your light illuminates the shadows, there's a silent toll that comes with being spiritually chosen, one that few dare to speak about openly. It's the crushing weight and the letter M etched into your palms. Then you already know what I'm talking about. It's that relentless exhaustion that seeps into your bones, leaving you drained despite doing nothing physically strenuous. This isn't ordinary fatigue. It's an energy drain born from holding space for others, absorbing their pain, and radiating light in a world shrouded in darkness. You see, chosen souls are not just passive observers of life. They are active participants in its healing. You didn't ask for this role. It was thrust upon you the moment your spirit agreed to carry the crescent moon's sacred charge. Like a lighthouse guiding ships through turbulent waters, you emit frequencies that calm storms, soothe frayed nerves, and mend invisible wounds. But here's the catch. Every time you extend your energy outward, a piece of you is left behind. Every storm you calm takes a toll on your own reserves, and every burden you help someone else carry adds weight to your all. Dynamic is especially tied to the waxing and waning patterns of the lunar cycle, the same rhythm mirrored in your crescent moon mark. During the waxing phase, as the moon grows fuller, so too does your capacity to give. Your energy surges, and you find yourself effortlessly lifting others, channeling divine wisdom, and acting as a conduit for transformation. But during the waning phase, when the moon retreats into shadow, your energy dips. And the cumulative effects of overextending yourself become undeniable. This oscillation between abundance and depletion mirrors the ebb and flow of your spiritual responsibilities. A constant reminder that even the brightest lights must rest. Let me be clear. You feel tired not because you're lazy, but because you're a healer in a wounded world. The fatigue you experience isn't a flaw or a failure. It's evidence of how deeply you care, how much you pour into others without hesitation. Yet this generosity can leave you feeling hollow, like a cup, perpetually emptied but never refilled. Society doesn't teach us how to manage this kind of energy expenditure. Instead, it labels exhaustion as weakness, urging you to push harder, do more, and keep going. But pushing through only exacerbates the problem, leading to burnout, a state where your light dims dangerously low. So why does this happen? Why are you so susceptible to energy drains while others seem unaffected? The answer lies in your innate ability to absorb and transmute energies. Where others may deflect or ignore negativity, you instinctively take it in, processing it internally until it transforms into something lighter, brighter, and less harmful. This process is both beautiful and brutal. Beautiful because it allows you to heal and uplift those around you. Brutal because it leaves you shouldering burdens that aren't yours to bear. Imagine carrying buckets of water uphill all day, only to discover, like to be a spiritual beacon in a fractured world. You draw from collective consciousness a vast reservoir teeming with fear, anger, grief, and despair, and attempt to purify it through your presence. But purification is no small feat. It requires immense strength, focus, and resilience. Over time, the cumulative weight of these efforts begins to wear you down, manifesting as chronic fatigue, brain fog, or even physical illness. And yet, there's another layer to this pain, the expectation to always be strong. People gravitate toward you because they sense your stability, your unwavering compassion, your ability to hold space without judgment. What they don't realize is that this strength isn't infinite. It's earned through sacrifice. They lean on you, unaware of the cracks forming beneath your surface. You smile, offer comfort, and reassure them that everything will be okay, all while silently battling the storm raging, the heaviest aspect of your calling. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Ignoring your own needs in service of others ultimately renders you incapable of helping anyone at all. So how do you navigate this paradox? How do you fulfill your spiritual responsibilities without losing yourself in the process? First, recognize that self-care isn't selfish. It's essential. Start by setting boundaries. Learn to say no when your energy is depleted, even if it feels uncomfortable. Trust me, saying yes out of obligation only deepens the cycle of exhaustion. Boundaries protect your light, ensuring that you have enough to share without extinguishing yourself. Communicate your limits clearly and compassionately, knowing that those who truly value you will respect them. Second, prioritize practices that replenish your energy. Grounding exercises, such as walking barefoot on grass or visualize, reconnect you to your source. Meditation focused on cleansing your aura, imagining white or golden light washing away negative imprints, can also restore balance. Incorporating crystals like selenite or clear quartz into your routine amplifies these effects, creating a protective shield against energetic overload. Third, honor the lunar cycles and align your activities accordingly. During the waxing moon, embrace opportunities to give, create, and expand. Use this time to engage with others, share your gifts, and step into leadership roles. But during the waning moon, turn inward. Rest, reflect, and recharge. Allow yourself permission to retreat from the demands of the external world and focus on nurturing your spirit. Remember, the moon teaches us that rest is just as vital as action. Both are necessary for growth. Fourth, build a support system of fellow healers or spiritually aligned individuals. These are people who understand the encouragement and accountability. Sharing your struggles with someone who gets it alleviates the loneliness that often accompanies this path. Together, you can exchange tools, techniques, and insights that make the journey kinds. Know that this burden is temporary. It's part of the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. The heartache of seeing too much, when your soul feels what others can't. If you carry the crescent moon mark and the letter M on your palms, then you already know what it means to live in a world that feels too loud, too heavy, and far too fragile. You don't just see the surface, you pierce through it with an almost supernatural clarity. Whether it's sensing danger before it strikes, feeling the weight of someone else's unspoken pain, or mourning a loss before it happens, your heightened perception is both a divine gift and an excruciating burden. This isn't mere intuition. This is claircognizance, a knowing so profound it defies logic. It's as if the universe whispers secrets directly into your soul, revealing truths others can't or won't acknowledge. And while this ability allows you to navigate life with unparalleled insight, it also overload that most people will never understand. The heartache of seeing too much isn't just about bearing witness to suffering. It's about carrying the weight of those revelations long after everyone else has moved on. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine walking into a room full of laughter and cheer, only to feel the undercurrents of despair swirling beneath the smiles. Or standing next to someone who insists they're fine. All while waves of grief crash against your chest like an invisible tide. For empaths and claircognizants, these experiences aren't rare, they're daily occurrences. Your nervous system becomes a sponge, absorbing emotions, energies, and even intentions that linger invisibly in the air around you. Over time, this constant influx overwhelms your own emotional equilibrium, leaving you raw, exposed, and perpetually drained. And then there are the moments when you sense tragedy before it unfolds, the gut-wrenching dread that grips you out of nowhere, warning you. Impending storms. Perhaps you felt it days before hearing news of a loved one's accident or illness. Maybe you woke up one morning with an inexplicable sadness, only to later learn that someone close to you had passed away. These premonitions aren't random coincidences. They're glimpses into the interconnected web of existence, reminders of your role as a conduit between worlds. But here's the cruel irony. Foreseeing pain doesn't shield you from its impact. If anything, it amplifies it, forcing you to grieve twice, once in anticipation and again in reality. This dual-edged sword cuts deeper still, because no one else truly understands what you're going through. How do you explain to someone that their carefully masked anguish radiates so strongly it leaves you breathless? That the anxiety bubbling inside them keeps you awake at night, even though they've said nothing? Most people operate within the confines of visible reality, oblivious to the unseen forces shaping their lives. But, you exist in the spaces between the liminal zones, where shadows dance and spirits whisper. This awareness sets you apart, but it also isolates you, creating a chasm between how you experience the world and how others perceive it. The emotional sensitivity you possess isn't something you can turn off like a switch. It's woven into the fabric of your being, part of the sacred contract you signed before incarnating into this lifetime. Yet, living with such acute perception often feels like standing in the eye of a hurricane, calm at your core, but surrounded by chaos. Every emotion you encounter reverberates through your spirit, magnified tenfold. Joy becomes euphoria. Sorrow becomes devastation. There's no middle ground, no safe harbor where you can retreat from the intensity of it all. But here's the truth. This sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's a superpower. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it exhausts you. But it also grants you access to reach. Through your pain, you develop an extraordinary capacity to hold space for others, to validate their struggles without judgment, and to offer solace simply by existing. Your presence alone can be a balm for weary souls, whether you realize it or not. However, wielding this power requires wisdom, discipline, and self-preservation, otherwise, it consumes you whole. So how do you manage the overwhelming flood of emotions and insights that threaten to drown you? The first step is acknowledging that your sensitivity is valid and valuable. Stop trying to suppress or dismiss it. Instead, honor it as the sacred gift it is. Say this aloud if you need to. I am not broken. My sensitivity is my strength. Reframing your perspective transforms shame into empowerment. helping you reclaim ownership of your abilities. Next, create rituals to release excess energy. Empaths and claircognizants often struggle because they absorb everything but rarely expel it. Practices like smudging with sage, taking salt baths, or burning candles infused with protective herbs can cleanse your aura and reset your energetic field. Visualization techniques are equally effective. Imagine a golden light surrounding you, forming a barrier that filters out negativity while allowing positive vibrations to flow freely. Grounding exercises, such as placing your hands on the earth or working with grounding stones like hematite or obsidian, help anchor your energy and prevent overwhelm. Another crucial practice is learning to differentiate between your emotions and those of others. This skill takes time and patience, but it's essential for maintaining your mental and emotional health. Start by tuning inward whenever you feel overwhelmed. Ask yourself, is this mine? If the answer is no, visualize the foreign energy detaching from your body and returning to its source. Picture it dissolving into the universe, like smoke carried away by the wind. Setting energetic boundaries in this way protects spirit from becoming overloaded.